Hey guys, Ben on KCT here, and today we're talking about the Orpaz T40 Pro. It's one of my favorite holsters personally. Guys, if you could like, share, comment, and subscribe for more great content or more marginally passable gun content. You never know what you're going to get on this channel, but it definitely helps. So that's my plea for your engagement. Anyways guys, let's go ahead and talk about this holster. So I am a big fan of the predecessor, which is the T40 or T40X. So that is an adjustable holster, and it's got two screws in the back that you can take out, and you can expand it or collapse it depending on the size of firearm that you have and light, as well as your desired retention. So you have your body retention by squeezing down the shell of the holster. You also have a magnet. Now this is one of the first holsters I'd seen that has a magnet, but it's kind of a cool feature. Gives a little bit of extra retention beyond just the body friction. But one thing I didn't really like about it was this locking arm. So this basically goes over the back of the pistol while it's inside, and it's not like super chintzy or anything like that, but it's something that I feel could definitely break if you wrenched on it too hard. Like if you try to close this too hard, I feel that you'd snap. That there's an arm that runs down here. I feel like you could snap that right off. Or if you grab your firearm and try to draw while this was down, and like really like we're in that speed of light moment, I feel that you could snap this right off. Which is probably okay because at that point, hopefully you have your gun out. So, but whatever. So the T40X or T40, depending on which version you get, does cover up that rear of the firearm there, and then you hear that magnet click as it disengages. You know that. So that's the original version. This, the Pro version, this thing is where it's at. So you have the same body. The same two screws are removable on the back, so you can go ahead and expand and collapse this to fit multiple different guns. Case in point, we'll throw the same Kinetic that we just had in there, in here, locks up nice. Now we'll go to a Gen 4 Glock with an optics on a dovetail mount, of all things. And yeah, there's still plenty of clearance for that dovetail mount. So, fit all sorts of different guns in there, all kinds of different lights. This is a Holosun PID. And then this is a LAPG clone of the TLR1. It does fit the TLR1 and all sorts of great things too. There is a piece in here that you screw in. You can see right there. That will allow you to use different light types. So if you have some sort of massive honking like laser unit light, you might remove that. There's this little gate on the top that hits your light. I've actually removed that on my original T40 because I didn't like it, at least on that model. I don't know why, but it's just getting in the way. But with this, even with a longer light like the LAPG, no issues, goes right to the end. Good stuff. One of the great things about this holster is just like the T40 standard, you can raise and lower the height of your gun in this holster. So there's a little screw right here, and if you tighten or loosen that, you'll bring this magnet up or down depending on where you want the gun to sit. So if you have like a subcompact, you can go ahead and bring that back up so the shorter barrel, you're still properly aligned for the hood and everything else like that. Because you can let this out further and drop your gun down even further. So if you have a longer gun or some more crap on the back of your slide, it's no worries. So I think that's really, really cool. So for example, I can go from like a full-size Glock 17 to like my Kinetic TP9 Elite SC and throw that in there, and it totally works. In fact, for most times I don't even have to like adjust this. I'll just throw it in there and it'll drop in and lock up just fine. So there's a lot of customizability with this guy. And so if you are looking for like one holster and you have many different guns, this is a great, great, great option. I mean, just like this guy here, fully adjustable, works out just wonderful. And, oh, by the way, just quick disclosure, Orpaz did not send me this. They've sent me some stuff in the past. However, I saw this and just paid my own money for it. So I wanted it, yeah. So, how does it work? Once you've got your holster fitted for the size of gun that you want to put in there, you'll notice you've got a fully enclosed optics hood. So there's nothing getting through there. And this is extremely thick plastic. Guys, this shell on this, especially this upper piece, I'm talking like Safariland tough. Like, if somebody said, hey, go roll on the ground with your holster, and you get to pick whatever holster it is, normally I would pick a Safariland, and, you know, just they're like the rugged standard of durability, like a 6000 series. I'd roll in the dirt all day with that thing. This, I would do the same. The only thing I'm a little bit skeptical on is just the bottom shell is a little bit looser or a little bit lighter. And then just those two screws that kind of hold everything together. Maybe something could happen there, but like this thing is really, really rugged. I mean, like this hood and like this upper portion here to protect the optic is just diesel. And same thing with this entire top piece. They redesigned this completely because originally it just looked like that. So, how does it work? Once you got everything squared away, we just said that, but there is a little button right here. Boop. And that has to come back and then down, and it'll go ahead and drop your hood. Now this drops the hood and the bail, and they move dependent of each other. So I know on the like Safariland, on some of the red dot holsters, if you have the bail, you have to go ahead and disengage that bail. That bail will flip up your optics cover, re-engage the bail, flip your optics cover, or you can do the bail by doing your optics cover. In this case, they both work together. So I've added some grip tape right there, and that's for coming over, you know, when I reholster, being able to just have a good solid purchase on the top like that. They indent it slightly, but I figure the grip tape's a little bit better. I've also put some grip tape on the activation nub. The way that they have it, and it's kind of hard to see, but they have it where it's sort of like playing down in like two spots. Like they kind of divide it in the middle. I don't think that's super comfortable. I'd rather have that just be like a plain ramp. I understand why they did it, so if you're coming down from one side, you know, you have that like scalp section, but there's not really a reason. I don't know. I just feel like they should have just continued that straight over, and made that more of a broader ramp. But the nice thing is that with the skater tape on the back here, you can just catch that tape and disengaging that is supremely easy. Now, they make a piece that you can throw in here, and it comes with it. You actually just remove that little screw there, and you can remove this little leg piece there and replace it with the second piece. Now, what that'll do is that will allow you to just have this where this is like this button is already locked in the back position. So to open it or to unlock the gun, all you have to do is push down. So the way that it's sitting right now is the way that the piece would sit if you had that second piece in there. So for me, like the down back motion doesn't bother me at all. I'd rather do that than just push straight down. They do consider that a level of retention. So technically, like if you look at the different levels of retention, you could say, okay, the magnet is 1, the body friction is 2, and then this mechanism is 3. If this was a Safariland holster, actually, they would give it a different designation because for Safariland, every single motion is a level of retention. So when you push down on your bail, that's 1. Push forward on the bail, that's 2. Push backwards on the ALS, that's 3. That's their level 3 retention. They don't consider the body of the holster to be a retention function. function. Even though in the 6000 series, you have a tension screw. Anyways, I digress. So, it's fast. It is very fast. I mean, rapid force levels of fast, it's pretty fast. Like this is faster just for the simple fact that it's a single motion. It takes care of your one major retention mechanism. Again, you can set this up for, single motion, but, if you did have a single motion, that would probably be faster. But is it rapid force gear fast? Would Mojo slay with it? I think Mojo would slay with anything. But, yeah, if it's not faster than a rapid force, it's damn close, because you're not looking at the rapid force. You have got like your main button to push and your little pivot lever. I mean, this is just all the controls are taken care of by one mechanism. So yeah, this is real fast. Now I have mine mounted on a QLS fork from Safariland. I will do a tutorial. You can see on this one too how that goes. They're kind of chopped up, but I will do a tutorial on doing that, because standardizing everything to the QLS makes my life easier, and I like easy stuff. It saves me time. I don't have a lot of time. So I do like the fact that everything is operating together. There's no like flip this up, then flip this up, or if you want to get both of them at the same time, you've got to flip, from the optics cover and to get the bail. No, you just run the button, and then just run the bail, and then everything else takes care of itself. So, yeah. One thing I can say, there's one downside to this. First of all, they do give you a ton of attachments. They give you different light blocks, I believe, that will go ahead and replace the big one in here, or at least you can take this one out and replace it with nothing and just have a bigger light. But I know all of the Orpaz light blocks that come with like the smaller holsters, they throw a ton of those in there. But the big thing with this is they give you like your choice of like your paddle, drop leg. You can order it in like any different configuration. Again, I just do a QLS. I'm partial to the low ride, and just hang it up like that, call it good. But if there is a downside to this, and I believe that there is not in its modularity, not its adjustability, because again, it can take all kinds of guns. The one problem I've had with this holster is you want to keep this pivot point here and that pivot point right there oiled up. So I was running this holster, I don't know, I'd had it for maybe a couple months, and it felt like it was getting sluggish. Like when I go ahead to get the gun, the bail and the optics cover felt like they were moving out of the way slowly. So a lot of times it's like if I'm going for time and I'm trying to rush, the minute my fingers making contact with that, I'm trying to get the gun out of the holster, and just the optics cover and the bail were just moving out of the way too slowly. So went and sprayed it with some WD-40 or some silicone spray. Thing works great now. It's one of those things where I recommend personally that if you have a holster with a mechanical function on it, and realistically if you're going to do outside the waistband, you should go ahead and oil those mechanisms up every once in a while. And I mean, even like a Safariland bail, you should be doing that. I went back and did that on all my Safarilands, including my old G-Watt like 3084. I think it is. It's a Beretta one that's got like the spines on it, like it's almost like ribs. Yeah, so that one straight some WD-40 on the bail. Now things like smooth as butter. But that's one thing I can say is that like over like the long term, just make sure that you guys keep the holster lubricated on those pivot points. And I mean, you can kind of see on mine some of that lubrication. It's a little shiny. But that is going to just keep that gun and the holster running smoothly together. So when it's being done right, like when you're pulling up on this, like it just automatically, like just that motion of like closing your hand will go ahead and deactivate the lock. So just like that minute you just come down and grab on that gun, like it's yours. So and now is that as secure for cops as the Safariland, grip it, rip it, flip it, suck it, fuck it, all that? No, it's not. It's, this is going to be way easier if I came up behind somebody to grab their gun. It's be a lot easier. But at the same time, so is a rapid force. A rapid force, if you can figure out what it is and how it works, that's super easy to get through. If you have just a regular ALS holster, like I have a couple Safarilands that are just ALS style holsters, those are super fast to get a gun out of too. So is it maybe not as secure again for law enforcement? If I was going out in a crowded place somewhere, I would probably want a holster that was more of a pain to get into. Like if I was moving in a crowd of people, like, where people are pressing up against you, yeah, I'd want something where it's a little bit more of a pain to get to the gun. For everything else, there's Visa, man. like, or whatever they say. I don't know what credit card that company that is, but yeah, for everything else, there's this thing. I mean, it's awesome. So even on a high ride optic, because obviously that's not milled into the slide, that's sitting on a frickin' dovetail mount. One of those! It fits perfectly. So, no complaints here. Guys, that's all I got for you today. Go check them out. Again, they didn't pay me for this. I bought this with my own money. They don't even know that I'm doing this video. Which is cool. But, yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll have more for you later. Sweet!